Hey guys, how are you? How is the last week and a half? I think it's been since the last video I put out. How has that been for you? Um, I wanted to share some information that I received about this period that we have been in since around the 22nd, and that we will be in the way I've been shown it until a few days into January. It has to do with what I've been talking about in the last videos over the last month and the way things have been unfolding and what has been happening energetically. As always, take what resonates, discard the rest, be present with what is coming up to you. It's the most important thing again and again, is to be present with your experience, honoring you, having compassion for both others and yourself, and deal with what's in front of you. Never try to put your experience into something I'm saying or someone else is saying and try to make it fit in, but see if something you receive and something you hear might help you gain some clarity as to what you are experiencing and going through, and maybe some tips as to how to navigate it. And thank you again to everyone commenting, to everyone sharing the videos. It's very helpful. I know there are still some comments being removed, so I'm just wanting to repeat, it's not me removing them. So please just keep commenting and sharing. I thank you for that. So what I was shown is, as I talked about it, we were completely unplugged from the old structure, the old matrix, the system, as I talked about in, I think that was around end November, beginning of December, when I felt that shift happening and I was shown that we had completely unplugged. Now, what happened, as I explained into more detail in that video, is that there's no more energy feeding into that old structure. So it's still seemingly there, the illusion of it is there, it looks like it's there, but it's not gaining any more energy, it's not being fed with more energy. So it will fall, dissolve, and if we are really aware of our thoughts, our emotions, we're releasing what we still have attached to that old structure, and we keep being present with what's coming up in us and releasing that distortion of what we have attached to, that are anchored in that distortion as that distorted lower frequency structure, that old way isn't anymore supported, and that's falling. If we have something in us, that being belief systems, that be programs, so many of those coming up, being very obvious, whether it's old traumas, things in the body that we're experiencing on that physical level, that are a part of and created in and held in, attached to that old system. That's what it's been, like this complete, really powerful detachment. And if we have been in resistance to that, or trying to keep what is falling off, what is releasing from our lives, and I'm not saying that this won't be painful in any way, there can be things falling out of our lives that we will feel very emotional about, and that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Then we are present with that and we're feeling it. When there are belief systems, when there are programs that we're becoming aware of, we have to make the choice to focus into something else, to change that belief, to no longer feed into that belief and the structure that is making in our lives. And that's really what we're really being in now. So I talked about in the last video that I was shown the date, the 22nd, and that there were personal portals opening that we would then be moving through in the time coming. I've been shown that this is happening until some of the first days in January. What this is about, I was shown, is the soul and the body. So the light, the consciousness that is coming into our body, that are us, that is who you truly are, and the physical body, which is a consciousness of itself, and it's a part of the earth. It's made of the very same thing as the earth is made of, and it's an animal. It's of the earth. Those two are very clear when it comes to its frequency, its sort of energetic signature, if you want. The problem, quote unquote problem, the challenge is the ego, mind, personality, which hold the distortions, which is sort of making, how can I explain this? So the very clear frequency coming in and the very clear frequency in the body, then we have this personality, ego, mind in the middle that is creating this distortion, which is believing in the illusion, which have all these beliefs about ourselves, about everything going on in the external, about who we are, about what is possible and what is not possible, which creates the limitations that we experience and that we then might maybe feel frustrated about, that we are not creating. Is this even possible to create? Can I do this? All of these things, it's held in the ego, the mind, personality. So many people are experiencing ego deaths now. What this means is really just what we are attaching to, what we are identifying with, that we are really, really attached to, which isn't the truth of who we are, is falling away. And this can be painful. It can be challenging as this happens, because it's the way we have understood ourselves. It's the way we have been moving throughout our life, in the society, in the world. And then it can feel, you know, in periods when we are experiencing this, it really can feel like we're losing our bearings a bit. Like, who am I? How am I going to do this if I'm not going to do it the same way? What can I believe if this is not the truth? If this is what I always thought was the reality? How am I then going to move? How am I going to structure something? How am I going to create something? All these questions, and maybe grief because of what is falling off, whether that's something which is a part of ourselves or whether it's something external to us that is falling out of our lives. What we are doing now in this period, as we're moving through this personal portal, so this is not, it's not like one topic for each and every one, or three same topics for everyone. These are personal topics for you, for your own evolution, for your own growth and learning, what you need to release, what you need to work through, what you need to embody, and what you need to sort of cleanse out of this distortion held between the consciousness and the body. As we're removing the distortion held in the personality, as it's no longer anchored in that old structure, it allows for creation. And this is what I called the trinity within self. So that's the consciousness or the soul, and it's the body, and then the creation. So when there's no distortion between, when there aren't programs that are taking our focus and hence our energy into something else than what we really want to focus on and what we want to create, when there aren't these old unconscious patterns anymore, the more these we are releasing, the more energy we can put into our creation, the less distortion, the less sort of murky energy or water there is between this light and the consciousness that we are and the body, the more we can put into the creation. And that's the third energy. That's sort of our output in this world that we're living in this reality that we are experiencing in this lifetime. So we will then experience more and more rapid creation. From this creation, which is then that third energy that we're creating within self, from the light and the physical body, moving together without a distortion in between, putting out an energy which is a creation. That creation magnetizes the other and their third energy, their output, or their energy. So I've been talking about 2022 being a year of coming together. So this is how all of that ties in, the way they showed it to me. So when we then are clearing more of this, and it's a choice whether we want to continue holding on to those beliefs, holding on to the old in our lives that are naturally coming up and showing us that this is ready to go now. If we're choosing not to attach, hold on to it, and we're letting ourselves surrender to the process, going through it, releasing and embodying more of that light, more of who we are, that third energy that we will create is what will magnetize that part of the coming together. Whether you want to call it a soul tribe, whether it's friends, whether it's a divine partner, whether it's, what, no matter what way it will show up in your life, that's the energy that will bring it in. So the less of that distortion which is held in the ego mind personality, the more energy we will be able to put into a very clear creation, which holds more of that frequency, that authentic frequency that you really are, that you truly are, and that will magnetize others that are resonating with that frequency. Because this is happening now, they've said that the detachment, or because of the detachment, what we are attached to, and the patterns held in the personality and the ego is very easily seen now. And I can totally say that this is very obvious in my own life. It's so easy to spot, it's so easy to see, it's so right up in my face. And there's like no point even, try going into any pattern of distraction or anything, because they don't work. It's just right there all the time. And this, even though it can be a pain sometimes, it's a gift, because it shows us that we're ready. It shows us that now we can really grow, we can rapidly evolve, and we are ready for it. That's why we're here. And it's what's going to change our world. There is always the choice to let go. So you can choose to hold on, you can choose to attach, or you can choose to let go. Triggers, dissonance, as those are coming up and might have been coming up over the last week, it's really important to honor yourself and to be in integrity with who you truly are. And also hold the acceptance for others doing the same. Maybe other people in your life are also changing, are also growing in their ways, or maybe changing direction in a way. And try to hold space and acceptance for other people also to change, so you don't attach to the way they always were. So it's important to hold the knowing and the acceptance for this happening also to everyone around you, not only to you, but honoring you, not being inauthentic because it's how you always were with that person, or all of these things. It's letting go of it. Be you, truly, truly be you. And take the conversations, take the break when you need it, go create when you want, like really, really be in your energy and be aware of what's coming up. It all aspects time as well, they showed me, because time is speeding up as we're rising in frequency. So parallel lives are also clearing, or past lives, if you want to call it that, because time is something we experience here in this reality. It's not really existing in the bigger picture. So all distortions, all times, and all timelines are clearing, which is why some things might be coming up that doesn't make sense. Remember to stay in the body and stay in the heart and feel into the energy of it rather than letting the mind try to hold on or grab onto it. That's really important. So timelines merging and timelines dissolving is something happening as well because of this. So there's multiple clearings. And as this is happening, timelines are merging, timelines are collapsing. And then it's really important. That also shows how important it is to really be clear on what you want to create. What do you want to embody? What emotion do you want to hold in your body? Give it to your body. Let your body become familiar with it. Teach your body this is the way, not from the mind but from the heart. Being the emotion, being the creation of it, and be in the present moment instead of trying to control from the mind. It's so easy, especially when things are going on as it is in the world, and fear is triggered, maybe the sense of safety. It's so easy to go into freeze or fight flight state in the body. So nurture yourself, and be very clear on where you want to put your energy, because you have the power, and this is going to be more and more obvious, that we have to take radical responsibility of our own creations. So the unconscious ways that we have been creating what we might not want to see in our external lives, or how we want to feel inside our bodies, is something we can change more rapidly than ever now. And that, again, will then create that third energy, which will magnetize more of what we want in our lives. Just checking my notes. Yeah, so this allows resonance and remembrance, so the remembrance of who we truly are, to be leading us if we so choose. So if we choose to come back to our hearts, if we choose to come back into our body, we become responsible for our creations. We clear the programs, the patterns, everything coming up, and we honor how we feel. And we take a time out, we take a break when we need it, nurture yourself, listen to the beliefs running, and make a choice whether you want to keep running those or if you want to make another choice. By making that choice, you can start leading your life with a resonance and a remembrance of who you are, and more of that will embody, and the creation will be more and more rapid. So the portal you are moving through in your life, your personal portal, is the way to your creation. That is what opens for your creation in your life. So the question is, what is your choice? What do you choose in your life? It is a huge opportunity for clearing and for being very clear on intentions and what we want to create, what we want to hold. Again, when you listen to something like this, it's important not to feel the pressure of it, that I'm going to miss out, I'm going to screw up if I don't do this, maybe I did something wrong. whenever that might start playing, come back to your body, breathe, and stay present with what is coming up. It is when we're moving around, when we are interacting with others, we get triggered. It's when we really see our own patterns. It's when we sit with it, we hear what we're telling ourselves about it, if we really pay attention and if we're really present with it. And it holds a huge potential for change if we choose to become aware of it and to change it, to choose something new. And it can be, as I said, painful for the ego. Many ego deaths. And there's a lot of energy coming in from the sun. There's a lot coming up in the inner earth. It's, I'll say for the last week, for me, it has felt like there's just pouring in energy from quote unquote above, so from the sun. And then there's just like huge waves of energy coming up from the inner earth. And then again, when that has come, there's another wave coming in. So it's like, it can be a bit overwhelming for the body at times. Especially with other things going on at the same time. This specific period we find ourselves in the year with many people celebrating Christmas. When there's so much going on energetically at the same time. So take the pressure off and be present with you and nurture yourself. I think that's really important. I hope this is helpful for you. Please share if you know someone who might have help from this. Stay present with you always. Lots of self-love, lots of self-nurturing, and know that even though things will unfold and collapse in the external, simultaneously we are creating the new. So start really focusing on that, or continue focusing on that as you are clearing the old that is coming up. I'm sending you all lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.